know what the answer is going to be, but the opportunity to start Game 1 of the World Series against Clayton Kershaw for a guy who grew up where you grew up and against the Dodgers, what does that mean to you personally?
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. It was someone who grew up watching him pitch. Obviously, too, just being the Dodgers, kind of where I'm from, it's a special moment for me for sure. But like you said, you knew my answer was going to be I'm just preparing like it would be any other start, just traditional game planning stuff. Go out, compete, and try and do as well as I can.
And what challenge does this lineup present you?
I mean, they got a lot of strong bats. I think anytime you're this deep in the postseason, every lineup's going to be challenging. They have their kind of – I'd say they're obviously different than the Astros. I think you have to go about them a bit differently, not getting into like too many specifics and whatnot. But obviously just going to get with Kyle and Zunino and talk with Charlie at length too, just trying to do some game planning stuff. So, yeah.
Take the next one from Juan.
Hey, Tyler. I guess I'll toss you an easy one here, but I don't know if you got a chance to step out on the field. Does it kind of feel real now that you guys are in the World Series?
Yeah, I mean, it's felt real. I think ever since we won, I think it's always been like – they kind of told me Game 1 like a few hours after. I kind of had a feeling, so I just kind of got into like, okay, can't celebrate like too hard. Kind of gonna have to go and game plan and like make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. But I only went out there for like a little bit, checked it out. Like our baseball stuff's not here yet, so I've just been kind of in the clubhouse. Once we go out and stretch and throw, I'll be able to check it out a little bit more.
We'll go to John Romano.
Hey, Tyler, a lot of people around the country are getting their first view of Tampa Bay's sort of unique strategies. I'm curious what you thought of this ball club, this franchise, when you were in Pittsburgh before you became a member of the Rays. What did they look like from the outside to you?
I honestly I don't know if I ever like looked into it in depth. I'd say like they were always obviously growing up knowing like they were always like in playoff contention, knowing that they had such a low payroll. I think most people kind of know that. I knew that they were run really well. I knew some people that were there that said the clubhouse was good. So everything that I kind of have come to realize is kind of something that I assumed was with the organization. So I think when I did get traded over here, I was really excited to kind of get into that clubhouse atmosphere and everything. So, but yeah, like I didn't know too much in depth. Like I was with the Pirates, I didn't really like know a whole lot about anyone else. But yeah, it's worked out, so it's good.
We'll go to Ken Davidoff.
Hey, Tyler. The fact that you guys beat the Yankees, then the Astros, and now you play the Dodgers, that's 3 of the top 4 payrolls in the industry. Obviously, you guys are very close to the bottom. Does that register to you guys? Is that motivation or fuel?
I think that last year we kind of realized like we could compete with really anyone here. So I don't know if there's like any intimidation or anything like that. I think we all understand how good we are as a team. I think stepping outside of it, knowing that like they all do have high payrolls and we have like the lowest is pretty outstanding. I just say in terms of like just numbers in general, just like how good the front office has done and what the organization has done to put this team together is pretty amazing. But as far as competition goes, I don't really think payroll is like too much of something that players think about. For me anyway, I just think it's kind of like you see who's out there, who's in the lineup, and you attack them accordingly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go to Tyler Kepner.
Yeah, Tyler, what was the biggest difference for you in coming to the Rays and unlocking all that potential that you had with the Pirates? What was the difference the Rays made?
I think a lot of it was just a big change of scenery. I think to come here with Kyle and understanding that I could kind of aim to bigger parts of the zone and just maybe miss with my stuff kind of in larger zones as opposed to trying to nitpick corners. And I think as I've developed with the Rays, I've been able to almost, now that I feel like I have more body control and 2 more years of experience, like game planning has been even more important and just kind of understanding that. It's still a big emphasis on like out stuff guys, but it's kind of marrying the 2 of game plan and stuff now. So I just think it's the development of becoming a pitcher and just the confidence I got when I first came here. I think the confidence they showed in me, I kind of was able to mirror back out on the field, and I've just been extremely comfortable ever since I've got traded here.
Tim Brown.
Tyler, when this is all over, and win or lose, and you leave the bubble, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to doing?
I don't know, like hugging someone, I think, or just like seeing family, just being able to like be a normal person again. I think it's been – so I had COVID in the beginning of the season too, so I was quarantined even longer. So it's been like a pretty long while since I felt like a normal person. So probably too, just like going to a social place and like maybe sitting at like a bar or eating at a restaurant, possibly. I don't know. That's still up in the air, but just honestly going back to being like relatively normal and probably mostly just like seeing and hugging family would probably be the number one thing.
Where's your restaurant? What's the spot you like?
I don't even know. So I haven't even thought about it. I don't know. Somewhere I'll go back to California, Arizona. So probably some cool spot and try and have some friends and family and whatnot and just try to have a nice little get together or something.
Right on. Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
Next one from Jesse Rogers.
Tyler, how strange is it to take the mound in a ballpark for the first time in Game 1 of the World Series? And is that the challenge, getting used to a new mound that quickly?
I don't know if the mound will cause problems. I think the grounds crew at every place is just so amazing. Like the mounds, I think too, once you've played like in high school and like middle school and all that stuff, you that's when you kind of have to get used to the mounds. And I think here, like, even if it's different, they're all so like immaculate in a way that like you can always kind of get used to it within warm-ups to the mound. I guess like maybe the view from home to the catcher, but that's never really been like a huge problem for me. I think it's more of like, I don't know. I just think it's baseball's baseball at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Okay, we have time for two more. We'll go to Justin Granite.
Tyler, you mentioned watching the Dodgers when you were growing up. Do you have any specific or favorite memories of the Dodgers growing up, and who was your guy when you were watching them?
Oh, I actually didn't watch a ton of sports growing up. I did obviously like a good amount, but I was just I had to go up and do something, like go outside and whatnot. So I didn't like sit in depth and watch baseball, but I would obviously like go and watch a few innings and like see highlights and everything like that, like a normal kid, I guess. But I think the team, like Sean Green and stuff like that. And I remember like Kershaw even too, like not growing up, but I was like probably later in high school and just watching him like pitch. There's a few, probably honestly, and like Eric Gagne and those dudes. And I just think too, going to the field and like going to Dodger Stadium and like how electric it was. And I assumed that was how all big league stadiums were. And I think when I got to the big leagues and went around, I was like, it's not like 60,000 people everywhere and super loud, but yeah, it's awesome. Just I think it was kind of like nostalgic for me in a way, just to be playing the Dodgers and also just to even play kind of at their stadium.
Take the last one from Steve Carney.
You can just finish with it.
Hey, Tyler. Charlie said the other day about how strange the season has been, you know, the pandemic, the shutdown, coming back, summer 2.0, and then all these games you guys have played with no fans. Well, you're going to get on the field tomorrow, and there's going to be 11,000 some odd fans in there. Have you thought about that, and how strange it's going to be without just the crowd noise that they've been piping in all year?
I think I just go about it like trying to control what I can control. It's a super cliche answer, but like the fans and everything like that, kind of, I think as I prepare, and I think the last year and a half, what's helped me a lot with like staying consistent with like execution and like nerves and everything like that is just like preparing the exact same way and like I don't know how it's going to feel tomorrow, but I'm relatively similar. I'd say like, I think it's just going to be like any other baseball game. Try to go out and eliminate all the stuff around you and just focus on what you can focus on. And that's my plan tomorrow.
Okay, we'll actually take one more. We'll go to Scott Smith.
Tyler, I'm curious if after the last series, the ALCS, and battling back the way this team did, and seems like getting key performances each and every night from somebody different, if you learn maybe a new dimension about these guys in the clubhouse that you've been playing alongside, even from that last series.
I think that's always been well known from like internally, I guess, within the clubhouse. We knew like how much we wanted it and just how much we mesh as a team. And I think we battled back. I think even to just like one-run games and stuff, our records are so good. We just kind of have that cohesiveness as a group. I think even last year with the playoffs, how we battled back last year, I think it was pretty obvious to us, like we were capable of that. I think maybe for other people or like, I don't know, like outside perspective, whatever, maybe that was like a good time for people to see kind of what we were capable of. But I think internally, like I said, we all knew what we could do.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, guys.